Okay, we got the littlest breeze here. It's just enough for us to see how accurate this is in a real condition without simulated drag. So here we are in anchor mode. And while we are in anchor mode, let's go to maps. This is that. This is one of my favorite places to fish. And so I would personally like, if you go to recordings while you're in map, you can start a track recording, meaning I could start it from here, make my line, and then it knows exactly what my line is, and then it's there forever. Or I could just not do that and edit one myself. So right here, see that checker? That checker simulates the line we're going to go to. Another one gets a little shallow there. You can kind of see where it gets shallow. So actually, hold on, we don't want that. I want, because it gets shallow there, I want it to come a little wide. Like if you want the most accuracy, you zoom in and then make your marks. Now see, that's running a little shallow, so, well, no. There. So we made a pretty generous loop, so now we're gonna just see all these flags. Okay, now go back to recording. Save don't mark a fishing spot. Save manual track after you've done all your flags. Now that's saved. Now it's gonna highlight in yellow, and when you press it with your finger, it's gonna show arrows. That's the direction. If you reverse track, the arrows will go the other way, but we're gonna go ahead and start navigation. Once you have it highlighted and it shows arrows, all you gotta do is up here, press start navigation. Start. You can reverse track if you want to go the other way, but we're gonna just start this. Now we have started it. So let's fish. When you are using nav mode or track following, it is imperative that you keep your rear outboard or rudder system completely straight. If you do not, then the boat will not track correctly and it will try to autocorrect and you'll have an obscurity in the line. Now it's going to start at a slow speed. If you want it to troll faster down this line, then you need to tell it to go faster. You need to up the throttle. Otherwise, it's going to keep at a nice slow pace like this because this is what we asked it to do. So you could just up the throttle slightly, and it will more aggressively pull us on that point. The entire reason for this mode is to fish completely hands-free, knowing your boat is going to direct the way you want it to direct. This actually helps you tremendously. It means more cast, less time correcting the trolling motor. I don't know if you've just missed a fish when you had to correct or you had to do something on your boat to readjust and that fish hit and you missed it. Like, that's happened to me more times than I care to even talk about, but it's not going to happen today. Oh, yeah. Look at that smallie. That is a beautiful smallie, guys. Sweet. That is a nice. That's like, I don't know if it's quite 4. Oh, it was barely hooked too. I knew it was barely hooked. Oh, yeah, look at that thing. All right. I mean, that's nice for Havasu. That's a big smallie for Havasu. Let's start navigation again. It's gonna start from where we left off. I hit anchor mode because obviously you don't want to keep on trolling. And you can always monitor your speed. Right now you could even say reverse track if you wanted to hit it. We're in track following. When you see that little mark up here, we're at 20% throttle. The wind is getting ever so more aggressive, so I put it up to 30. So right now it's pulling us back onto the point. What direction are we going in? Yeah, here it goes. Now it's doing it. The other option is you can record your own fishing track, which is, I'm gonna show you the difference right now. You can tell definitely between the edited manual track and the recorded fishing track. This is the edited manual track, that is the recorded fishing track. See all the arrows in the recorded one? There's so many more arrows because that's just how it tracks
and here's way less arrows. There's actually, because there's way less arrows in the manual track, there's way less to go wrong, but it's also, you really just have to get it right when you edit it. Like, I got this one completely wrong. That's why I went and did a manual recording. See how much closer to the shoreline I got when I actually went through and did the recording? So it's likely more accurate if you make your own line from scratch the way you know it to be, but it also takes the time to have to go and record that line. And it's sometimes just way easier to go and do a manual track, especially if it's easy to grasp. Now, this one I was trying to map an entire cove manually. Maybe that wasn't the best move, but it is doable. And if you really know the lake and you can just see it by the map, you can do it yourself. Either way, both options are there and available to you. So just choose which one you want to do and follow suit. Marking a fishing spot is extremely simple. All you do is go on the lake in maps, hold down a spot, and just mark your fishing spot just like that. This is really useful because now you don't have to do it in a fish finder, which a lot of times they make it generally overcomplicated. You got to go through a bunch of buttons, and you can just do it right here on the app. No fish finder needed. Mark all your favorite spots. Come back to the lake a year later and remember where they are all at. It's great.
I had some success on the manual track, but it wasn't as accurate as I had hoped. I guess there was no really telling until you record it. So I could have ran. So let's go to maps. Let's record a track because we have two for preference. You can start a track recording, which means you start it and then it just marks wherever you're going. So we're recording right now and we're going to refish this line and then I got to go to work. So how I'd like to do this normally, I like to just use nav heading at a slow speed like this, 20%, 30% throttle. And then I just make micro adjustments as needed. This is like this. Remember we do this 5% increments with every press of the button. I keep the button. I mean, this remote is relatively invasive. I know people have like not the greatest feeling about the remotes, and I'll tell you as somebody who's used, you know, GPS trolling motors for who knows how long now, that I didn't necessarily have the best experience with remotes. I thought it was way easier to use the foot pedal than the remote. But this remote is super uninvasive. It's not very heavy, it doesn't hang down, it doesn't have a million buttons on it or a huge screen. It's like 8 buttons your brain can memorize 8 buttons all day. I think that you will not have a problem doing that. Slow down. Very easy to do this. It takes no time to find the direction arrows and press them. And then just let the GPS like straighten itself out. And then you can fish. I fish this way, never using the recording feature at all, because I just thought it was just easier and faster just to do it this way. You make micro adjustments on the fly, and then you have your own most accurate line, but the recordings are growing on me. They are, slowly but surely. Like being able to focus solely on that ridge without having to worry about micro adjusting or what my trolling motor was doing. Like that was actually pretty key in me catching that fish earlier. We were entering it now. Yeah, I cut that off way too much because I was thinking I was knowing what I was looking at, but it actually looks a lot different when you're there. So see how the actual line I wanted to make was way tighter in than the manual one. So I could choose either or now though. That's a lot of direction points. See how many arrows it was here? Where there was way less turn points, it's got a million turn points here. Right here at the buoy.